All right, so these are the pieces that we're using today for our blouse. We have the back panel, which is all one piece. It has a centre back notch for the collar, and of course our double notch for the back armhole. And we've also put in, because we have two different sleeves, rather than having to do two different lots of notches, it also has this extra notch on both armholes, which is for the gathered sleeve, but you'll only be needing that for the gathered sleeve. We have our two front panels here, which are the same panel. They're a mirrored panel, and you can see that I've just laid on top the piece of interfacing to show you where the interfacing will be fused, which I'll do in a minute. And then we have our two collar pieces here, and you can see that the top collar is the one that will be interfaced. So one layer of interfacing, and this is our sleeve cuff or sleeve band, and we're just fusing one side of that rather than fusing the whole thing, which would make it just a bit stiffer than we need. And then our sleeve pieces here, and you can see that obviously the two sleeves are going to be different. They are the same. They're the same up until the double notches. This is the back, so up to the double notches. And then this one here is obviously bigger, and you can see that if we put this together at the front, this excess fabric is what turns into the gather in the sleeve head and then into the band. And so we have our single notch at the front here, and we also have additional notches. Oh, and then both of them have the shoulder notch, but our gathered sleeve also has the additional notches here, and that just shows where the sleeve head is gathered. So we gather in between those two notches, which are different to the balance notches. And then we also, on our sleeve hem here, we have extra notches that sew onto the band. So between these two notches, that will be gathered. And you can see if I put the band here, obviously the band is bigger, so it'll match here. And we have the notches, we have matching notches on the band, so we match the notches up, and this excess fabric will be the gathers into the band. So another thing that I need to mention with the sleeves is that because we have two different sleeves, there's obviously a right and a left sleeve, and so it's really important to keep track of those, because like with any asymmetrical design, you need to make sure that you get the right sleeve going into the right armhole and the left going into the left armhole. Now these two pieces, according to our sample, I've laid them up, and I've got the right sides of the fabrics together here, and if you get a piece of chalk, this is the wrong side of the fabric, which is as in the inside of the garment, and you can put a little chalk mark in that corner. And if you do this within the seam allowance, it means that you won't see it if it doesn't wash away.